What a week this has been to end the transfer window. Manchester United rushing around trying to get multiple deals done. The Champions League draw. We've got Bayern Munich. We've got Copenhagen. We've got Galatasaray. But we've got Arsenal on Sunday. It's the biggest game of the season. There's an international break after this. There's going to be a real lull if either Arsenal or United lose this game after the frustrations we've had so far this season. Arsenal just dropped points against Fulham. There's a lot to talk about. Will it be Rasmus Hojlund's debut? I think he will be in the matchday squad. But we're going to run through my starting 11, predictions for the game, team news ahead of the game, everything you need to know. If you can do, please drop a like on the video. It makes a big difference to the channel. I say it every time because it's completely true. Let's run through the team news that we have ahead of the game. And obviously the big story is that Raphael Varane is not going to be making the game. We already know about the rest of them. You know, Mason Mount, he's missing the game. Luke Shaw, he's missing the game. Tyrone Malacia, he's missing the game. We don't actually know about Hojlund yet. Erik Ten Hag will probably speak about him in his pre-match press conference, but we don't know yet. And I think United will keep it close. He'll keep it close to his chest. No one actually knows. Some reporters have been saying that Hojlund's been training. Some haven't. They don't actually know. In terms of Arsenal, they've had a strong-ish start. The game against Crystal Palace was probably quite impressive out of the three, I would say. Down to 10 men for a lot of the game. They held out for a 1-0 win. I was watching it going, I remember that United had been in this position before, and that was when Casemiro got the yellow card and they got that last-minute equaliser. That was just before we played Arsenal, actually. Then they dropped points against Fulham, and they really shouldn't have dropped points against Fulham. So coming into the game, there's some frustrations. Thomas Partey's playing at right back. No one really knows. Right, let me just make sure this team is correct. I actually just figured I didn't actually check this. I think it is. I'm pretty sure this is the team we put out in the last game. Martial playing through the middle, Rashford on the left, Antony on the right. And that back five. There's obviously going to be changes. I mean, there's one enforced change. And there's changes I think that will be made. I'm going to run through my starting 11 in each position and the players that I think are going to be most important for this game. And there's two players in particular. I think if United get a result on Sunday, it's going to be because of these two. And Andre Onana is one of those two. Arsenal are going to be good. Arsenal are going to be slick. Arsenal are going to create chances. Now, in the first game of the season against Wolves, you saw Andre Onana make probably like 5 or 6 or 7. I think they had 23 shots, 6 or 7 on target. Obviously, that penalty question towards the end. Andre Onana had a good game. I think he's had a quietly impressive season so far, and we're going to need him to be on top form, both in terms of this is a game where you're really going to see for the first time properly how Onana plays under the press. Arsenal are going to squeeze him the whole game. How would he cope with it? I'm looking forward to seeing it. And of course, it's important who he has in front of him. We're going to need Martinez being the main outlet because, what? Look, right, okay. Diogo Dalot, he's going to start at left back. All right? He's going to have to keep his head screwed on because he's going up against Bukayo Saka, who is, I would probably argue, Arsenal's most dangerous player. He scored against us last time, an absolute wicked goal last time. I'm worried about that left-hand side. I am worried about our defensive shape. Now, Victor Lindelof coming in for Raphael Varane, I'm actually not too worried about. I think Victor Lindelof is a good squad centre-back. I think he'll be fine. Famous last words and all that. But I'm more worried about Diogo Dalot in that left-hand side over here with Saka than I am with... we're going to obviously take Varane out. We'll put Lindelof in. Than I am on that right-hand side. Wan-Bissaka's just been excellent this season. He really has been excellent. I'm not too worried about there. With Casemiro, will Casemiro play? There's been too much space here. Martinez, I don't think has been 100% yet. He's still refining himself. He's still refining fitness. But Diogo Dalot has to have a good game. So does Onana. I think in particular, there's a lot of onus on Onana. But let's be honest, the midfield is where the majority of the questions come with this United team at this moment in time. Casemiro scored in the last game, sure. But Casemiro is finding himself isolated. Twofold. Number one, he's finding himself isolated in these situations here where United are pressing forward up there and Casemiro is the last man. But also at the same time, Casemiro is overcommitting himself, leaving all this space in behind there that has been exposed a ton of times. And we're coming up against the midfield of Odegaard and Rice, right? Rice is going to be running all day long. Odegaard is going to be finding those line-breaking passes. Our defence has to be on point, but our midfield has to be in a solid shape. And I do not think that Manchester United can afford in this game to start Casemiro and Eriksen together. We saw it, I think it was City away last year. I think it actually, no, it wasn't Arsenal away, obviously, because Casemiro was banned. Suspended anyway. I don't think Eriksen should be starting this game. You know who I think should be starting this game? Scott McTominay. Maybe Amrabat's going to be... I don't think Amrabat... I don't even know if Amrabat's going to be fit, even if he was to be signed. But I'm not going to be speaking about Amrabat in this game. And if he is in, then that's going to be a pleasant surprise. But I'm doing this on the concept that he's not part of it at all. We need physicality in this midfield against Arsenal. This isn't going to be about quality on the ball per se. This is going to be about... I'm not going to say putting McTominay on a man-to-man marking game with Declan Rice, because he moves around too much. You'll get dragged all over the pitch. But we need somebody who's going to slightly carry the ball, somebody who's going to be strong in the shoulder. We've been pushed off the ball too often in these first few games, man. It's been infuriating. So I actually think that we're going to more likely see a bit of a double pivot with McTominay and Casemiro with that man in front of them. Okay, I say there's two players I think who are going to be crucial for this game. Andrew Onana is one of them, and Bruno Fernandes is the other one. If we play well, Bruno plays well. If we don't play well, Bruno sometimes he also plays well when we don't play well. But we need him to be firing on all cylinders. Arsenal's not going to be an easy game, man. Really not. In fact, I'd say most people would probably put us down as underdogs for this game. But because of the international break, because of all the conversations around the club right now, it will be a long old 2 weeks if we don't get a result on Sunday. And I think it's going to be down to not mainly, because it's a team effort, but Bruno and Onana are going to make the big difference. So that's the change I would make in midfield, McTominay, and in defence, you're going to bring Lindelof in for Varane, which I think is a pretty much straight for straight swap. But I would rather see Eriksen come off the bench in this game and McTominay start. Now, will we see Rasmus Hojlund come in for his full debut? I don't think we will. Talk about a tough game to come into, by the way. Arsenal away. Because of the intent. You remember how intense it was towards the end of that game last year. Last 15, 20 minutes, we were penned on the edge of our own box. And it felt like a goal was inevitable. And they got the inevitable goal. It's going to be full tilt. And Arsenal need a result after the Fulham game as well. So they're going to be bang up for it. I think we will see Rasmus Hojlund in this game. But I do not think we will see him from the start. Somebody I want to see from the start is this man. Jadon Sancho, all right? Because I do not want to see Anthony Martial start. I'm done with it. I said I was done with it like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, probably even a year ago. I'm still done with it. He was a ghost in the last game. And I don't want to see him starting this game. I want to see Jadon Sancho, who impressed there in a false 9 role in pre-season. All right? And of course, that means that we can see Marcus Rashford going out to that left-hand side. I don't even think he was that good against Forest, but how can I say that when he got the assist for the first goal, had the cross to Bruno that he headed back to Casemiro for the second goal, and won the penalty for the third, so he was directly involved in all 3 goals. But overall, his overall performance, I still think Rashford will want more. But you have to start him on the left-hand side. It's an absolute given. Now, on the right-hand side, I actually thought Antony was more impactful against Forest than he had been in the first couple of games. But we still need more. And I know he needs more. I don't know when it changed. He got his debut goal against Arsenal. Let's hope he does it Arsenal way as well. But Pellistri, he's knocking on the door. And this should be a game where I think Pellistri comes on after like 70 thereabouts. Antony is a fighter. He adds a lot to the front press. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing what happens when Rasmus Hojlund comes on. Rashford's on the left and Antony's on the right. That's a very aggressive pressing. Right, saying that. Marcus Rashford, when he plays for it. Rashford's pressing is questionable. Not certainly for the whole game. But I would play Sancho through the middle. I'll play Rashford on the left. And I'll play Antony on the right-hand side. That is my starting 11 for the game. The changes are McTominay coming in for midfield for Eriksen and Lindelof coming in defence. And my prediction, it's going to be such a tough game, man. We have to see some sort of element of control. I don't know whether you're not going to get much control out of that midfield, but just don't let Arsenal have the run of the game in the same way that Wolves did in the first game. The Spurs did in the second half. You do that, we're losing. We are losing this game, pure and simple. So I think it's a game where you might not like it, but we have to kind of shore up shop a little bit more. Maybe play a little bit more defensive in our shape and maybe actually end up being more of a counter-attacking team against Arsenal. Certainly, if we had Amrabat in there, it might be a little bit different. If we had Hojlund completely fit, it might be a bit different. If we had Varane and Martinez 100% fit and Luke Shaw at left back, it might have been a bit different. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. That's my prediction. I think it's going to be a tough game, and I'll be honest, I think that's a result that United fans will be happy enough with, and also a result that Ten Hag will take. And then we'd have the international break to sort of calm everything down. 2 weeks of full training. Well, not full training. It was on internet. You know what I mean? 2 weeks back. Everyone should be a little bit fitter. And then we kick on this season. Hopefully with Amrabat in and with Hojlund fit from Brighton onwards. What's your prediction? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you drop a like on the video. I'm going for a 1-1 draw. Big game. Play Rashford through the middle. No, not play Rashford. Play Sancho. I ruined it at the end. Play Sancho through the middle. Rashford on the left. McTominay in midfield. See you soon.